SRMites. Welcome to Say Whaat with SRM AP, the podcast where we explore big ideas to bring changes beyond our SRM AP. I'm Varshini, your host, and today we are going to talk about an issue that impacting us all. It's climate change. You may have heard about it in the news or felt it in your everyday life, but it's a challenge we cannot afford to ignore. Climate change isn't some distant issue we read about or saw in far off places. It's happening all around us and affecting our cities, our communities, and even the weather patterns we have grown used to. Think about the past few years. Summers are hotter, and sometimes a storm can flood an entire city overnight, like how the Vijayawada was affected. This isn't just unusual weather, it's a sign of bigger changes happening to our planet. For years, we have been speeding up environmental changes too quickly that throwing things out of balance are now we are seeing the consequences globally right here in our communities. Today, we'll take a closer look at what climate change really means and how it's impacting us. And to help us understand this better, I'm joined by Dr. Karthik Rajendran, Associate Professor of Department of Environmental Science and Engineering and Associate Dean of Quality Assurance and Ranking from SRM University, Andhra Pradesh, who's been knee deep in this battle against environmental concerns. So, today, with our expert, we are going to know more about the climate change, what's happening, and what we can do about it. Welcome. Before we dive into our main discussion, I would like to get your personal insights, especially since you're not just my supervisor, but someone I deeply respect. From your perspective, how would you describe Karthik Rajendran as an environmentalist, professor, a researcher, and as a person? What drives you in each of these roles?
Thank you, Varshini, for the invite, and thanks for the question. My work as an environmentalist is centered on finding practical solutions to reduce waste and improve energy sustainability, which aligns closely with what we do at Net Zero Lab, working on innovative waste management solutions, energy and AI systems for a better sustainability. As a professor, I aim to inspire critical thinking and sustainability in my students, shaping them to be a better future leaders, and I enjoy guiding them, where they are doing a remarkably wonderful job in pushing their boundaries beyond to solve the problems of tomorrow. Teaching and mentoring offers a chance to engage with fresh perspectives and change the next generation, develop new thinkers. In our research, we put in continuous effort to bridge the gap between science and real world applications. We always want to make a tangible impact, connecting the real world and developing solutions.
It's interesting to know more about you. I know you're down to earth personality, but being named as a top 2% scientist in Stanford and receiving Young Scientist Award by BRSI, Young Leaf Award in Hiyoshi, and even at SRM AP, you were recognized as a best faculty. What academic and research endeavors cumulated to this great recognition?
Thank you. These recognitions is a cumulative effort of students, our PhD students, MSc students, industrial partners, our projects providers, all these put together the experiences, my mentors, my professors over the period of time. It is a culmination effect of all these reflections where we work on challenges and problems of tomorrow. We collaborate, we innovate. That's where we have been doing over the last 5 years here. We are working on sustainable energy and providing solutions for biorefineries, waste to energy solutions. We work on energy and integrating the role of artificial intelligence to solve energy problems. And that's exactly we strive at Net Zero Lab.
I'm always fascinated by your hard work and achievement. Now that I have you here on this podcast, there's a question that's been on my mind, and I bet it's on many of the scholars too. We all seen you as an accomplished researcher and mentor, but what's your experience as a PhD student? Any memorable stories or challenges from those days that shaped you as Karthik Rajendran you today?
I would like to go back to my dates from master student where I started my journey in Sweden. Before then, I studied my complete schooling and undergraduate in India. The first day I go there and I see the university system, it is completely different. The learning environment is different, the teaching environment is different, the application environment is different. It's innovative, it's simple, it's easy, it's understandable, yet it makes lot of meaning to the real world. So when I learned those kind of techniques or the methods in which it has been taught or learned, that's what I want to bring in to SRM AP. And we wanted to make a transformation in the education sector as well here. So, what we do is we teach students to be real time problem solvers, use the problem what you have learned over the period of time, and try to provide solutions for the industry. During my PhD time, we worked with people from more than 12 countries, which means you have a international exposure of different countries, you understand different culture, you know how to work as a team, and your objective is to only solve the problem. So, in that sense, you work on a completely different mindset and meaning. So, to provide a tangible solution.
Great to know about your golden days, sir, and your ideology of bringing our SRM AP and our students more into that type of educational system. Now, let's jump to today's topic, climate change, which needs awareness all around the world. We are thrilled to have you. Let's start simple. What exactly is climate change and why should we care about it?
That's a perfect starting point. Climate change refers to the long term changes in temperature and weather pattern across the earth. It's natural for the climate to change over a long period of time, but what we are experiencing right now is something different. It is largely driven by human activities, especially the burning of fossil fuel like coal, oil and gas. When we burn these fuels, we release lot of carbon dioxide into the air. These gases act as a blanket trapping the heat. Let's take it simple. If you want to have a blanket around you on a cold day, it suits you. But on a warm day, if you are having a blanket, it is going to make you warmer, right? That's like the same. The more heat it gets trapped, the warmer the planet becomes. That is exactly what is happening to Earth. We are trapping more heat in our atmosphere, and the planet is warming up faster than naturally it should. This extra heat is affecting weather patterns where warmer temperature are causing longer, hotter summers, but they are also leading to more intense rainfall when it does rain. That's why we are seeing more frequent and severe weather events like heat waves, floods, and storms.
So, this warming is creating all kinds of extreme weather. Can you explain how this connects to events we have seen recently? For example, the flood in Vijayawada or the landslides in Wayanad?
Let's start with Vijayawada. The city faced some of its heaviest rainfall in over 50 years recently. In just one day, there was enough rain to flood nearly half of the city. It's hard to imagine, but most of the neighborhoods were affected, submerged in water. Now, where does this climate change fit in? A warmer atmosphere can hold more moisture. When it rains, the extra moisture means more downpours or heavier downpours. Just to give an idea, we had enough rainfall. If you fill the map of Vijayawada city with water bottles, right? The 1 liter water bottle was completely full. A 30 centimeter of rainfall poured in a single day, which was more than for a month's period of time or 2 month period of time. That's a lot of water in a short span of time. This is exactly what happened in Vijayawada. More rain fell in a short period, and the city wasn't prepared for that kind of deluge. Similarly, if you look at Wayanad, the landslides were triggered by extreme rainfall. In just 2 days, the region received more rain than it typically would do in a week or two. This amount of water softened the soil, causing the hillsides to collapse, tragically leading to more than 200 people lost their lives. Again, the atmosphere's ability to hold water is increasing because of the increase in temperature. To give you a simple analogy, let's assume you are boiling water in a closed pot. As you keep adding heat, the steam builds up because it's trapped inside. After some time, the pressure causes the water to overflow. Same thing is happening to Earth. We are adding more heat to the atmosphere and the pressure is building. But instead of steam, we are seeing floods, landslides, and extreme weather events. The atmosphere can only handle so much before these extreme events start happening more often and with more intensity.
So, it's not just about how rain falls, it's about how quickly it falls and how that overwhelms our natural environment. Now that I have a follow-up question with what you told before, why are these extreme weather are happening more frequently? Why are we seeing these heat waves or floods more often?
The increase in extreme weather events is closely linked to how our climate is changing. As temperatures rise, the oceans are warming up. Warmer oceans fuel more intense storms, cyclones, and hurricanes. Plus, the atmosphere acts like a bigger sponge. It absorbs more moisture and as temperature rises. When the moisture is released, we experience heavier downpours like the ones that led to the floods in Vijayawada. Let's think of it this way. The higher the temperature, the more energy there is in the system. This extra energy leads to more extreme events, whether it's storm, flood, or even heat waves. These heat waves we are experiencing in India are another example. Just last year, some cities felt temperatures so high it was like living in an oven. These extreme conditions put pressure on everything from healthcare, food systems, and infrastructure. And it's important to understand that these are not one off events. They are happening more frequently with bigger intensity because we have essentially added more fuel to the fire by burning more fossil fuels, releasing greenhouse gases, and trapping more heat in the atmosphere. It's this extra heat that driving these changes we are seeing today.
It's devastating to think about how much impact this warming has caused. But speaking of rain, water seems to be both blessing and a curse in this situation. One hand, we all rely on rain to fill our reserves and rivers, but on other hand, too much of it can cause floods and landslides. How do we balance this, and what role does water storage and groundwater play in this whole equation?
That's an important point, Varshini. Water is absolutely essential for life and we rely on it for everything, from drinking water to agriculture. But with climate change, the timing and intensity of rain are becoming unpredictable. We are either getting too much water at once, causing floods, or not enough, leading to droughts. The key to balancing this is improving our water storage and groundwater systems. During heavy rains, if we have proper infrastructure to capture and store that water, such as rainwater harvesting system, we can reduce the impact of floods and also save the water for our future needs. Additionally, storing water helps recharge groundwater levels, which is critical because many areas depend on groundwater for drinking and irrigation. When we manage our water sources effectively, it becomes less of a curse and more of a blessing.
That makes a lot of sense. Managing water well can help prevent disasters and make sure we have enough during the dry time. Let's shift gears to something else we have been experiencing: heat waves. Like you discussed earlier, we have some extreme hot summers recently. Can you tell us in detail on how this climate change tie into that and why are heat waves becoming more intense?
Heat waves are directly linked to warming the planet. As global temperature rise, so do the chances of experiencing prolonged periods of extreme heat. Climate change is essentially making heat waves more frequent, longer, and intense. One of the reasons for this is, as I said earlier, the trapping of heat in the atmosphere due to greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. The earth is warming up and this heat gets absorbed by land and oceans. As the ground heats up, it causes the air above it to get hotter as well. And since climate change is increasing average global temperatures and we are experiencing more extreme highs during the summer months. In places, for example, like India, this is becoming particularly dangerous because the heat isn't just uncomfortable, it can lead to serious health issues, heat stroke, dehydration, and other health related illness. And it also puts a strain on our energy systems as more people are using air conditioning and fans to cool down.
It sounds like we are seeing the planet respond to extra heat in extreme ways, whether it's more intense storms, floods, or heat waves. But let's bring it back to something that feels even closer to home. How is all this affecting everyday life, especially like how you talked about India?
In India, we are already feeling the effects of climate in many aspects of our daily lives. If you would have seen when during your childhood to now, you would have seen the increase in temperature of the summers and cooling down the winters as well. Farmers are really struggling. The growing seasons are shifting. Sometimes they don't get enough rains during the crucial planting periods, and other times there is too much rain too quickly, which can wash away the crops as well. This is especially hard for a country like ours, where agriculture is a major part of the economy, so many livelihoods depend on it. In cities, we are facing people rely heavily on air conditioning to stay cool, which also increases the energy demand. This can lead to power outages in some areas and, of course, to extreme heat and also put strain on the healthcare system. Heat related illness like heat stroke can become more common, especially among the elderly and children. And there is the flooding, right? So, when heavy rain hits cities like Vijayawada or Chennai, the drainage system just can't keep up, leading to widespread flooding. Homes are damaged, transportation is disrupted, people's lives are turned upside down in a matter of hours. It is an indirect consequence of a way of our city have developed, combining the growth of intensity and climate related weather events.
It's a lot to take in. The changes are happening all around us and the impact are being felt right here in our communities. So, what can we do? It feels overwhelming when we think about it in such a large scale.
It can definitely feel overwhelming, but the good news is there are steps which we can take to make this climate change slow down and adapt its effect. The first step is to understand the issue, what is that we are doing, how to change, how to act, and most important of all is raising the awareness among the people. It's not only for the educators, it's not only for the policymakers, it's not only for the common public. It is we all together to come together to bring out a solution. The more people understand their daily actions contribute to climate change, the more we can solve it with ease. A big part of the solution is these energy sources don't release greenhouse gases, so they help reduce the amount of heat we are trapping into the systems. But beyond that, there are small everyday changes we have to make. Reducing energy use, using public transportation, supporting policies, environmental protection are all ways where we can contribute.
So, it's about taking responsibility for our part in this, right? Even small actions can add up when enough people are involved.
Absolutely. Every small action helps. It's like we talked about earlier. Imagine you are turning down the heat on that pressure cooker. It won't stop boiling right away, but the pressure will start to ease, and that's what we need to aim for. We may not be able to stop all the impacts or the changes of climate change, but we can certainly slow down the process for the future generation to act.
Talking about the future generation, what would you like to say to the current student community? Who are the future now? What way can they support the environment?
The student community holds a greater responsibility to shape up the future. Their actions today will define where we will live tomorrow. My message to the student is very simple: be proactive, stay informed, make sustainability a part of your daily life. Every small effort counts, be it putting your waste into the proper dustbin, segregating them, reducing less energy, coming in a public transportation. These all ways which we can initiate climate change efforts and also conserve energy. Embrace sustainable practices, engage in social environmental initiatives, inspire others to do the same. The challenge we face are significant, but with collective effort, we can create a healthier, resilient environment for future generations.
That's really empowering. It's clear that while climate change is a massive issue, it's not just impossible to tackle. We just need to be informed, take action, and support large changes that can help create a more sustainable future.
Exactly. And we are all part of this solution. From students to teachers to everyday citizens, everyone has a role to play in protecting our planet and making sure we are ready for the changes ahead.
As we discussed a lot about our environment today, and I have seen firsthand how our Environmental Science and Engineering department at SRM AP is deeply committed sustainability goals and other environmental concerns worldwide. It's clear that our department is not just about learning, it's about innovation and impact. From works on biorefinery to waste management and even smart automated bioreactors linking AI for managing waste and carbon storage analysis in plants and whatnot, all are actively shaping solutions for the real world environmental issues. Moreover, our graduates are thriving. PhD students have secured prestigious postdoctoral opportunities in Sweden, Korea, benefiting immensely from our research facilities. Even our master students are excelling, securing paid internships that focus on environmental challenges, and some have even had the opportunity to attend fully funded international conferences. It's clear that knowledge and skills gained here are opening doors to remarkable opportunities. Could you share how students can benefit from pursuing an environmental science degree at SRM AP and what unique opportunity it offers?
An environmental science degree at SRMAP offers you a unique blend of both academics, which is rigor, and hands on experience towards research, where you learn problem solving, and access to cutting edge facilities, which is on par with industry standards. Located near the biodiversity rich ecosystems, our department provides a natural lab for studies in ecology, climate change, and conservation. Students engage in specialized labs, industry oriented curricula, allowing them to innovate in areas like waste management and biorefineries. This particular program includes mandatory internships, both national and international, aligning to research and career aspirations. Our vibrant research environment, supported by experienced faculty, equipment to tackle the real world challenges. Our graduates have secured prestigious postdoctoral positions and international conference opportunities, seeing the global impact of their training at SRM AP. The degree is more than academic, it is a path to becoming a leader in sustainability.
Thank you for sharing these insights. It's inspiring to hear how our department is shaping future leaders in sustainability. All the professors' guidance and the opportunity here truly make a difference for us students. Thank you for joining us today. Your insights have really helped us understand what's happening and what we can do about it.
Thank you, Varshini. It has been a pleasure. I hope this conversation sparks more people to take action towards climate change and sustainability.
And to our listeners, remember that the fight against climate change starts with awareness and action. We may not be able to fix everything overnight. Every small step counts. Let's all work together to create a future where we and the planet can thrive. Thanks for tuning to Say What with SRM AP, and until next time, stay informed and stay green.